Hello, my name is Bryan Nesbitt. I'm head of design for North America, and what we have today is at the Detroit Auto Show, the Saab 94X concept. And what's exciting about the 94X concept that you can see behind me is it's really the manifestation of all those signature cues that we've actually introduced in the Saab Aero X concept of last year. And now you can see it really coming together in a more realistic segment architecture like a crossover. And here we see a signature headlamps and tail lamps theme, the signature 3-port grille of Saab, the wraparound windscreen you can see with the blacked out pillars. There's a signature C-pillar, and all these cues are working together. Even the fenders are reminiscent of the Aero X, and all of that has been intentional as we evolve the Saab identity.
Excellent. Could you tell us about some of the inspiration that we might see moving forward after the 94X? I understand that maybe some of these cues will be continued from this.
Absolutely. In fact, the intent has been not only that these, as we see exploring the cues on the 94X, but really when we created the Saab Aero X, where we created a vehicle where we could create signature cues that we could wear through an entire family. Whether we were creating a crossover, or a mid-size car, or even a small premium if we were interested in that, all of those vehicles, we'd want to have a signature identity and really cues that could wear across them all as a family portrait, ultimately.
Excellent. If we could look at how we see this dead on in the center here, could we talk a little bit about some of the specifics, if we can gear into maybe the grille, and most importantly, one of the first signature cues that we see, unlike anything, is the non-continuous hood line. Could you speak out why that was, why it may be more raked back, and maybe other little things that are different?
That's okay. Yeah, that's a good point. So, some of the details that I'd like to point out, as you can imagine, we've always had a signature clamshell hood. But we felt like as we had to evolve into a new portfolio and really evolve the identity of the brand, we wanted to interrupt that clamshell hood to create a little bit more visualization and priority of hierarchy of the grille in the 3-port. You can see also the big, large word mark of Saab coming into the airfoil of the grille, this horizontal plane. All of these are working together to get a more prominent identity to the front end of Saab. This is important because the brand is still relatively invisible, and this is our opportunity to make it more visible, but obviously with the Swedish values that we appreciate so much. You can also see here in the hood there's a surfacing to the vehicle that's very significant, and I love where we ended up on this scallop, where it's a full section of surface, and then this is scalloped out as a surface section. And this scalloped type of surface execution is exactly how we'll want to continue in the development of the surfaces for Saab. You can see here in this lower intake. This lower intake mimics a lot that was influenced by the front end of the Aero X. And if we look at the lower intakes of those, they're direct thought from the ideation that happened on the Aero X front end development. So all of those are working together to create a, really, for me, the next face of Saab. A couple other things I'd like you to notice is you can see here in the signature profile of the vehicle, of course, kind of the tap of the hat where we have a higher header, like the classic Saabs. We black out the pillar to get the wraparound windscreen graphic, and then a signature pillar, and we reinforce that graphic with the detail, again, of this scallop sectioning that's happening that reinforces the signature or the C-pillar identity of Saab. And then taking into the bright work, which creates another, again, that signature hockey stick. Here too, you saw on the Aero X a signature turbine-inspired wheel design, and we'll continue to evolve forward. This is a next-generation version, really a more robust crossover version of that Aero X turbine wheel. On the inside, you can see that we're continuing to keep the cockpit-oriented interior. But on this 94X concept, we're looking at a new steering wheel design. You can see the nice gesture and surfacing in the door and the cues. And then you can see a new material where this is kind of, again, like the Aero X, we introduced looking at the glass making industry of Sweden, also the high-end camera manufacturing that happens in Sweden. And there's a wonderful aesthetic into the color and material, and we wanted to capture that into this interior decor and bring it in, and that's what we show here. So a lot of these cues you'll continue to see as we move into the development, more sculptural with this kind of full surface with scallop sectioning, and also a whole new identity as we get into the cluster with a 3-ring cluster. The 3-ring cluster with a large priority ring on the center line will continue to be a mainstay as far as we move forward in the family identity. And this concept suggests some of those solutions. Now you may have noticed on the Saab Aero X concept of last year, we had introduced an idea of new signature lighting, horizontal lighting, and a horizontal graphic that then would have a horizontal graphic in the evening signature also. This would be an idea to have a whole new rear identity theme for Saab. And here we see again on the 94X concept how it would manifest itself in a crossover execution. So now we see on a 2-row crossover how we could see the realization of this horizontal rear end signature lighting graphic that would also have an evening signature with it where we can kind of see it lit up today. You see again the signature C-pillar of Saab, and you can see an overall execution of cleanliness that represents the Scandinavian design values. And then if Andrew can open up the back for me. Now on the inside we've got, as we usually do, we've, not unlike on the Aero X concept, we've had another collaboration with Salomon, the sports equipment manufacturer. So here we see some Salomon skis sitting in a custom ski rack that's been designed for the 94X concept vehicle. And again, there's also boots actually packaged underneath, all in the intent to communicate that really this is about an active lifestyle and it's a product that's designed to meet the needs of those types of people with those interests. So, and this happens to be just a very tidy package for that. Summary, what's exciting about the Saab 94X concept is that it gives us an idea of how we can see all the work that's gone into the Saab brand now manifest itself into a very relevant crossover, an important segment for Saab in the premium context. In the premium world of crossovers, this is an important step moving beyond from where we were with the 97X and moving into something that is really the right global scale. So we're really here as a test well to really look at what kind of reaction we can get to see if this is really the right move we should make.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.